I have called them the purple incarnation of Satan. Let's talk about that game. So the Vikings Seahawks game.
Yeah.
That fourth quarter was pretty damn wild. Also, Sam Darnold to Justin Jefferson.
Looking hot. Feeling hot. The Vikings are fun. I know you hate it, but the Vikings are fun. Sam Darnold is probably the best story of this season. Jefferson, 2 touchdowns in that game, right?
Over 140 yards. Yep. That last touchdown grab,
You mentioned the 13 wins for Darnold, right? Same amount as he had as a Jet, but also in his first season with his new team, he joins Peyton Manning, and I believe it was Steve McNair as the only quarterback to get 13 wins their first season there. So
ton of credit to Darnold, ton of credit to KOC.
Yeah, that was a tough game. Like Seattle brought it for the most part. But they're dangerous. Them Vikings are dangerous. And their defense, I thought when I heard the stat, I thought it was they said the wrong thing. But their defense has 30 takeaways this season. I was like, that can't be right.
Dude,
yeah. 30? 30?
The NFC North be taking that ball away, baby. They be doing it. And I got
turnover every week for Minnesota.
It's what grievances do I want to air? None, because I want the Packers to clinch a playoff spot tonight.
Yeah.
So I won't have grievances if that happens.
Did you happen to see the shred line? I didn't even. Barstool does this thing called the shred line, and it's Portnoy, it's John Gruden, and I forget who else is in there. But like,
is he complaining about Greg Olsen?
Yeah, fans just call in and like go on a rant about something, and this fan just ripped into Greg Olsen for calling the Eagles game, and he's like,
"Yeah,
we're not playing well because our fucking quarterback's not in the game, Greg." And Greg just quote tweeted it laughing, and it's like, that's why I love Greg Olsen. He just gets ripped by this dude. He's like, this is hilarious. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
I don't. Oh, the Vikings
have none.
No, because the Packers might, clinch a playoff spot tonight. That's all that matters. Yeah, no, I think that game against Seattle, it was a close game. You had 2 lead changes in the fourth quarter, and Seattle had an opportunity to go down the field, and Geno threw a bad interception.
Yeah.
I will say, only sacked twice, Geno, so that's positive. But the problem, once again, they had no run game. There was no run game to be found. And I think that Kenneth Walker came back. I think he had under 60 yards. But that's the problem, that they give it to Geno, who threw the ball almost 50 times, if I'm not mistaken, right? It was around there.
I don't know.
It was 43 times, excuse me.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's
43 times, and you're going to live and die with Geno Smith. And they're in an interesting position, the Seahawks, what they're going to do in the offseason, and they have decisions to make. But I think the Seahawks are ultimately going to be fine, but them still contending for a spot yesterday hurts. And for the Vikings, man, like I said, you got to give KOC a ton of credit. You got to give Sam Darnold a ton of credit. I cannot wait for next week. I cannot wait.
I think Seattle, more than any decent team, needs a dominant offensive line to be good in the current version of who they are with Geno.
I agree.
They need to be like they do. They need to be able to run the ball 25 times a game, and they can't. And that last interception by Geno, I think it was Barks put in the script, because Geno was kind of pissed off after. I was like, maybe it was DK's fault, and I was looking at it. And I think Geno's expecting Metcalf to cut towards the sideline, right? They have very little time. And if you watch the route, DK I don't think he's really trying as hard as he can. And he kind of just turns in instead of going to the sideline where Geno was throwing the ball, thinking his receivers going to be like, we got to get out of bounds, stop the clock. So I think that's miscommunication, because it just looked like a terrible throw. But yeah, and it was kind of they got an extra opportunity there, but they had already lost the game. And Darnold, that touchdown pass
to Jefferson,
Darnold was a little banged up then. He took a shot on that throw, split 2 defenders. It was as impressive of a throw as you can make.
Yep. It was a good throw. Good catch. Justin Jefferson is just a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Next week is going to be super fun. And I'm wondering, so this was on this comment right here. I would not be surprised, because I was reminded yesterday, I forget that we have week 18 Saturday games. I thought that they'd take that Saturday off, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Seahawks Rams Saturday night, and then we're going to have Lions Vikings Sunday night. Like, we are ramping up. And I know you mentioned this, what was it, a couple weeks ago? They're like, oh, the playoff race is kind of boring. This is where like it's getting exciting, because especially with the Commanders winning yesterday, like that number 1 seed is like not sealed up. And I think, again, it's going to be so important. Then you have the AFC. Are the Broncos going to make it? Are the Bengals now sneak in? Are the Colts going to make it? You know what I mean? Like, there's things that are coming down to the wire, and there's actual like stakes in these games. And like I said, Packers Vikings next week. I know that's biased, but like, I can't wait for that game. Like, it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, the Lions want the 1 seed so they can rest a week, and they need it. The Bills have a ton of injuries in their secondary as well. They had like, oh my God, because DeMar Hamlin left the game. Taylor Rapp's out. Somebody else got hurt. I was like, damn, that's a lot of injuries there. So a lot of teams need that bye to get healthy, right? Vikings or Lions, like, I don't really care who gets that 1 seed in terms of like, I think both teams are they're both going to play well if they're at home or on the road. Like, I don't worry too much about that for those teams. But the other game that could be kind of interesting is Broncos Chiefs, in terms of like flexing that final game. Even if the Chiefs are resting, like if the Broncos got to win to get in, like, is that for the NFL? Is that an interesting game to put into that time slot? Like, I don't know, because that game's not scheduled yet either. So we'll see. There's interesting seeding games, but
hang on, Nathan.
I don't know. We'll see.
Dude, these last 2 weeks are going to get nuts. They're going to get wild. I'm super excited. Okay, this is where it gets exciting. Even both Christmas games, I think, are going to be really good.
Yeah, those are great games.
Chiefs Steelers, that's going to be a lot of fun. Then you have the Ravens Texans, of course.